For the Titans, very strong pick in the bot lane right now, mostly because of her CC potential. Nothing else crazy. Gonna be banning the Vigar for X-Ray. He can play that champ pretty well, especially with showings in Fight Club. Gonna respond with the Annie and the Kaisa ban. Kaisa very strong 80 carry, and Annie could be a comfort pick for one of these players, along with just a solid mid laner. Currently sitting around like plus 50% win rate in solo queue. Rek'Sai coming out, another strong pick potentially in the meta. Has a lot of early game ganking potential, especially with Flash and Burrow, just gap closing. Nasus ban, interesting. It's definitely got to be a comfort pick. Nasus isn't crazy strong right now, so it's probably a comfort pick of one of the players. We can see Vayne getting first picked for the Titans here. Definitely want to get Finn a strong pick into this laning phase. It will be interesting to see if they try to abuse it off the bat, or if instead they just try to outscale it. Nothing else crazy going on here, as looks like the teams considering taking their sweet time for this first pick, considering if they want to counter and show. They're going to show with Draven off the bat, as they're looking for setup. And Draven into Vayne is going to be a very hard matchup for Vayne early game, just because of his early pressure, along with how much gold he's going to snowball with if he ends up getting kills. Going for the Swain picks, they're going for a really aggressive lane here. Will Vayne play with a defensive support or more of an enchanter? It'll be interesting to see how they play this lane, as we don't really know what Lit likes to play, as he is the wild card at the moment. About ranked bronze 2, getting picked up first round in the draft. So Finn must have an affinity to playing with him. We've seen some of their games in solo queue together as a team, but not too much. As they're going to pick up Yuumi, Vayne Yuumi here, trying to go for that carry potential bot lane. Maybe trying to sustain out the Draven and the Swain's poke. Going to be a lot of pressure on this bot lane, mostly because the highest ranked players on both teams are in that position, with setup Vivos and Finn de Samana and Little Fiddle. Going to pick up the Nunu there. Going to get some ganking potential, especially in the Draven. He will be able to dismount her Snowball, though, with his E, which will be very useful, along with Nocturnal. Looking for the dive, potentially, onto bot lane if they get a lot of pressure here. Pretty good out pick, and they're going to get into their second ban phase, and that's going to be a set coming out. Probably targeting another top lane pick, or giving at least more room for their own top laner, as he might not perform very well against that. A lot of these bans are rather towards people's playstyle, rather than just outright banning champions that are strong in the meta. Sometimes that's true for examples like Rel and Kaisa, but Nasus and Vigar are definitely comfort pick bans. As we can see, they're going to be in the Ornn actually instead, trying to remove that tank option from Milky Jugs. As they're going to respond with the Vladimir here. Definitely a relatively strong pick, more likely a comfort pick than anything else. As on the last ban, this is pretty important. Are they going to go for another top lane ban, or are they going to ban mid is the real question. As we haven't seen a lot of X-Ray play stuff outside of maybe mages like Seraphine and Vigar, so maybe they feel comfortable after the banning the Vigar that he doesn't have a lot of room. But instead they're going to look for that Malphite there, trying to make sure there's no way for Vayne to just get completely jumped on outside of the Nocturne. They do have the potential to go for a Camille or a Galio on Milky Jugs here, which would synergize very well with the Nocturne's dive potential. So it will be interesting to see what they pick. They got 10 seconds left. Have a lot of flexibility with that mid lane and top lane pick still being available for them. And they're going to throw out the Garen for their team. Galio is going to be picked up as a counter pick into Milky Jugs. Definitely would have picked that up if I had the opportunity myself, as Nocturne Galio, very strong combo. More like currently Titans are just going for like a CC comp to protect their carry. A lot of Galio, Nunu, just anything to keep her alive right now. And we'll see the last pick for the Titans here. Are they going to draft a damage or another tank? It will be the real question. And they're going to be going for a bruiser in the top lane of Darius. Darius does pretty well into Garen, depending on the player, but it's definitely going to be a skill matchup in the top lane to some degree. And they're going to be the mid lane pickup for X-Ray. A lot of options open to Galio. Could go for a scaling champion like Seraphine here. Going to pick up the Nico, actually. And that's going to be the final pick for these drafts. So we can kind of already get out the team comps, as one team is looking for a potential peel, or they can even go an all-in comp with Galio and Nunu, just dive the enemy team. While Milky Jugs really only has one mode of going in. Draven, Swain, Nocturne, Garen, just go, go, go. And they're going to be queuing up ready to start up the draft, and we'll be switching over to that on the League client in a moment. Nothing crazy, as it sees the game is just getting ready, and I will be switching that over in a minute. Just one moment. Okay, and they're just going to go through the normal pick ban phase again, hopefully speeding it up this time, as they do know what their picks are. They do not have to ban the same things that they ban, though, which would be really frustrating, potential waste of time. Yeah, that is definitely true. Unfortunately, I do not have good enough internet connection to stream on Twitch. I wish I did, but I am not privileged enough to have that. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Seeing just the same bands again, just trying to keep that information there, potentially, if they want to review the game, instead of having to keep that link on hand. This way they can just always have this in their VOD review, or when they go for it, download and replay the game, it should tell them this type of information. And Garen's going to be picked up Darius, just picking up the champions for their top laners. Nocturne jungle. I do not know the specific matchups of Nocturne into Nunu here, but I do know that Nocturne's going to be a potential hazard for Vayne due to the loss of vision. Is going to prevent her from auto-attacking important carries like Draven and Nico even. So it looks like they're just kind of rushing in, trying to kill Vayne as fast as possible, because as soon as she dies, we can see that Milky Jugs is going to have a huge damage difference between that and Titans. As it looks like their main carry is going to be Finn on that Vayne, with that Galio and Nunu to kind of peel for him or help him with the engage. Either or works fine. Going to be a slow start, as Vayne's going to take some time to scale. Draven is definitely an aggressive pick into that. We see that a lot of the times, just trying to bully out these scaling late game, try to take control of dragons with that bot pressure, and put Titans into a position where they have to fight for an early third dragon before their AD carry has gone to that 3-item spike that they want her to be at to fight. Nothing crazy, as we can just see, they're just going to get through these last couple of bans, pick the 2 picks, and get right into this game. Currently, no one knows the skill level of the matchups. Currently, Fiddle is the biggest wild card mentioned by Gwenabonabon, and we do not know how well he is. I've seen a couple of his games, but it's nothing crazy impressive that just blows me away. But we could see him pop off on the Yuumi here. Something that you don't hear, but he can still play well on a champion that only uses 2 buttons. Gonna have to wait for the draft to go through. Just kind of wish that they decided to click blind, and maybe we're gonna have to wait here for 50 seconds, but nothing we can do about that. I think the most important thing in this entire matchup is the bot lane. If Setup and Vivos can do a really good job of punishing and denying farm, it's gonna delay even more of that 3-item power spike that Vayne really wants to hit. And if they can get dragon control on top of that, it's just going to be a very bad time, especially with Soul. Every Soul in this game has a use on Milky Jug's team. I mean, increased damage, healing, movement speed, and then also the last one is just additional shielding. All really good tools for their team. And if they can get those early game dragons or the objective control, it's going to help them out a lot. So it's just going to come down to that, as they're going to load into the game, and we're going to start the 3-minute spectator delay. before we get into the game. I'm pretty sure that characters like Darius and Milky and Garen, it's really a Darius-sided matchup here. Nothing crazy, but Darius just has a lot more utility in the sense that he has that pull-in. He has the W to slow and the Q to shield. Garen really just has his passive as his only sustain method, and that's just from not fighting. So it'll be interesting to see how these two players play out their laning phase. And if one player shows a significant skill difference, they're going to be able to punish the other one or play to their strength compared to the other lanes. I mean, we can see Chris going for Nico over Seraphine, actually, which was a surprise, into Galio. Maybe he's a little bit scared of Galio just eating onto him, getting that stun, and potential gank set up for the Nunu. As Nico does have a little bit of mobility and a root, that's much more on cooldown compared to something like Seraphine, which only can root on a double. But other than that, teams are looking pretty balanced along with their damage types, as you got AP and AD. A lot of true damage really on blue side here compared to red, but it's really not a big difference, as Swain is going to, and Nico are going to be able to pick up a lot of that AP damage, especially Swain with Swain ults, and Nico ults are going to be really important in these team fights to determine who's going to get CC'd. If they can get that flash ult on Nico, or a flash E from Swain onto Vayne, that can put her in a sticky situation. She might even have to take cleanse this game, just in case, because if she gets pulled in, Draven has his E, he has Q, like his early game damage is going to be really oppressive. So it's going to be really a lot on Yuumi and Vayne to play safe as best they can and just kind of scale as their mid laner takes a lot of the attention off the map and potentially assists them with ganks. Nocturne does have ultimate, so if they're under tower and they're low, they're most likely dead. As we're going to get right into this game, as we can see the Electrocute coming out from Nico here into the Galio, going for that Aftershock, more for that tanky side. Going to be really confusing with this name setup of Space and Space on the Nunu and the Darius. Going to be quite frustrating to cast this game because of that. But other than that, looking really good. Just pings coming out from everybody. I mean, Yuumi going for the traditional start of the control ward as normal. I mean, we've seen this before. There's no reason for her to pick up potions. It's just a gold commitment. It's not worth it. I think the most important thing about this game is how each of the players play out their laning phase. I mean, Milky Jugs, on paper, loses to Darius in the sense that Darius does pretty well. If he stuck that ward, he would have been able to take it and get level 1 off the first wave. That's just an unfortunate situation that arose. Looks like both junglers are going to be starting on their red side camps here. Nothing crazy. Darius definitely going to be, we talked about this before, a strong lane matchup, and if he can excel in this game, it's going to make Vayne's life a lot harder. Her teammates really need to play around her and make sure she can get to that 3-item power spike before that third dragon comes down, and I think that's really important, as that's a game-changing moment. Drafting the Yuumi here, I think, is a big, really bad force. I mean, you're really forcing yourself to play the tank mid and the tank in the jungle because you're drafting this healing champion for your teammates that isn't vulnerable to getting caught out, but again, isn't the best. As we can see, actually going to start on his blue buff starting on bot side here. Not going to try to split the map, actually, as Chris just getting some good damage and nothing crazy. Both laners starting out top side. I mean, currently Space is looking fine. Has the corrupting potion pick. It's just not a really normal thing that we see. Getting the auto attack trade into Garen is doing himself some pretty good. Just taking some minion damage is actually going to end up equaling out the trade or close to it. Garen does have his passive, so taking trades into him has to be either constant or not at all. As you can see, really good trade taken for Chris this week. Nunu's looking to gank. Will he flash though is the real question. Choosing not to flash, gets knocked up, gets stunned. No channel coming up. Thompson just gets to hit by the Q anyway. Doesn't even matter. Currently looking really good here for the Vayne. Nothing crazy has happened that forced her out of the laning phase. So this is good to see. Chris is going to get another one. Gets the stun off. Gets knocked up though, and that's not the clone. That's Chris. Dodges the Q though. And up to get some good retort damage. That Electrocute doing some serious work as Nocturne is going to be looking to be 16 CS. up due to the early ganks coming out from the Nunu here, as Nocturne is looking to fight in this mid lane. Chris is not able to get the root there, just a little bit off. He's going to miss both his summer spells. I mean, both abilities. Small CS leads appearing across the map, especially in the jungle and mid role, along with bot side, but that's expected. As Space Warriors is currently fighting the enemy Garen while Cannon Minion is attacking him. Let's make sure he can get this good draw coming out from Sin there on that dodge. It'll be interesting to see how he uses Corrupting Potion in this lane matchup, as that's not a traditional pick that we see a lot. 22 CS for the Draven here, as Vayne should be able to pick up most of that, if not, and get close to the Draven. Getting for that early back, probably going to go into a boots and either long sword or dagger, or he could potentially go for the cold pick himself. Yeah, we're going to get that long sword and dagger. Actually, boots and dagger. Milky, just having the Garen passive healing is actually doing a lot of work for him. Hasn't even popped his potion yet. He was looking to come off for the dragon. There is top prio at the moment, though, as Milky does realize this skill's going to go in. Does not drop a ward. Going to pick up the first Scuttle Crab for the Nocturne there. Nocturne's going to be able to potentially double crab here, as he's going to make his way down to the bot side. Dragon will be spawning in the next minute, though, so it's going to come down to bot lane to try to get some priority before, as the Vayne is currently backing. Wants to make sure she is there for this fight, as not anything crazy is happening at the moment. Space is just auto-attacking, does not really have the CS definite. He's actually going to be a pin on the end of the side and taking a decent amount of damage. Getting Milky under turret, and his Q does so little damage at the moment. It's actually pitiful. It'll be interesting to see if he somehow took the wrong runes. As we can see, Space Nunu is going to be in there. Flash coming out from both junglers here. Nothing crazy, as the ward's going to be dropped. Taking a good trade, forcing Nunu off of his red side. It's the only camps that he has up right now. We're going to lose a minion there for the Darius, as Galio's going to take some small auto damage. Not a big thing. Does have a CS lead in the moment for both bot lane and for that. It looks like Darius is going to go in. W used by Milky, as he's trying to keep the wave there. Going to auto attack it, potentially could have forced a freeze. As CS difference appearing up in the bot lane, as he's going to be able to E out, no big deal. Milky going in, doing some really good E damage there. Doesn't have level 6, but it's going to get damn close to it soon, as they are both level 5. But the damage coming out from Corrupting Potion, she should back and just TP back to lane here and not take it, as soon as Milky hits 6, or potentially can just Q flash in, and that's just not something that you want to happen at the moment. I mean, we have on the opposite side of the map, we have Vayne and Darius somehow under their own tower. The wave's going to bounce back with 7 minions, and it's going to start to just meet the minion as going in for a trade onto X-Ray. Going to get taunted here, as Nunu's going to look for an engage. Going to get the flash, and that's just going to be a good thing. Able to resort, forcing the flash out of the enemy mid laner is a really good job. Trading flash for flash and summoner spells for summoner spells is just an incredible thing to happen. I mean, top lane we can see not a good matchup right now for Darius. He's under so much HP, and he's able to get a good Q off. Goes up. He's going to walk up a little too far, though. Ends up getting Q'd and E down, and he's going to get the Q, and he's going to get ulti. That's going to be first blood for Milky. Jugs there. Really good job on him. Able to punish, doing a surprisingly a lot amount of damage due to his ultimate's true damage. As we can see us getting bullied off Finn here by setup in Vivos. Having a very strong bot lane is really evident in this tournament so far. So it looks like he's going to try to get as many adoration stacks as he can and get a kill. Teleport coming out from the Darius there. That's going to be a teleport differential towards the... With good dodge coming out from Finn there. Teleport difference for the red side here. They couldn't have a teleport Darius into the bot lane. Go for a pick here, as Dragon's going to be spawning up soon. Or it is already spawned, and they haven't even contested for it. Able to disconnect him. Going to get the root off. Nothing crazy. His Finn's going to look up for an engage, but not able to hit anything. As Galio's forced to walk away. He does have ult there. Could have gone in. As Galio's actually kind of low. He's under 50% HP, as level 6 is going to be hit on Booch. Or getting cleared out by the Darius top side, as Dragon is getting close. We can see another gank coming onto the spot side here. He's going to get the disconnect. Going to run around the E. Really good job here. Going to use his flash to dodge. Ultimate coming out from Galio, and he's not going to get anything. Getting some good auto attacks. Notcher's going to come in as the teleport from X-Ray, getting the multi-man stun. Really good job from X-Ray. That's going to be 1 kill for the Draven. Another one's going to be 2, as it looks like the Yuumi is going to try to get out. Flash coming, and both summoners for the entire bot lane. Incredible job coming out right now for the teleport on X-Ray. Just an impeccable look there. using their ultimates, using their pressure. As we can see, teleport used by the Galio to come back to mid lane, and just going to be able to pick up that first dragon. Really good job coming out from Milky Jugs' team here, as they're going to be able to take this first objective of the game, in addition to getting Draven his first adoration stacks. Going to snowball him significantly. And with the other Herald being up, Milky is just looking so strong. He's able to just take tower shots due to his itemization, as Space is going for an interesting starting item that was punished, and along with going for an item that's gonna be more for fighting, as Milky's just gonna take out Vision, opening up his top side, as it looks like Nocturne's gonna be picking up that Scuttle Crab. Nothing crazy, as his top laner's looking to fight there. But currently we can see Nunu is picking up his own buff, and he's going to be making a snowball all the way over to his blue side, as that is completely up himself. Does have the camp up, by the way. Nothing crazy. And we can just... Nocturne is going to be going for an invade here. Will Nunu see him is the real question. Currently he's going to be waiting. Does have the ultimate difference. Going to start the camp actually. Does not choose to wait for it. And this is going to be important. The AoE just hits him. He should have been aware of that. He's going to get feared off. Does not have flash. Using his Q, really good job to get away. Able to slow him down and pops the phase rush, as KDL is right here, as going to get taunted there. Going to get rooted as well, as Chris is going to get some good poke damage. Darius does have level 8, but the ultimate is just not going to be very useful due to his lack of CS and damage outright. Finn is still level 5, going to get bullet off even more farm, as that buff is actually going to get given to the mid laner. Going to have the blue buff advantage for the Nico. Is going to be very nice for her, as long as she's going to be able to spam more and more spells. I think the most important thing to realize is Nocturne in this game. Nocturne is doing such a good job for his team, and what he's pressuring this Nunu off. Nunu is just in such a bad place in this size, and another ultimate coming out onto the Darius. Going to use his flash already. Good flash coming out from Darius there. Fortunately, it's just nothing that he can do. He can't step up, and without a flash into Garen. Garen could probably get a Q ult, potentially going to get W'd in. Could use his E and Q and potentially tower dive, but chooses not to. I'm going to let the wave reset and push towards him. As we can see, level 5 still on the Nunu here, getting out leveled by the enemy bot lane. Currently nothing crazy, as we're going to see Nocturne slowly look to clear his top side. Going to get that red buff. As more pressure is put onto the Darius here. He's able to get the W off, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to E him there. He's going to get another ult down, and that's going to be another kill. Saw that coming from a mile away. Without flash, you can't really stand outside your tower, as Darius there does not have the stun. Not able to get the stun of the Finn, though. The healing, getting a good amount of damage, as he's going to be stuck under his turret. The ult coming out from them, going to get more adoration stacks, as looking for that second kill onto Finn. And VFOS is actually going to end up falling here. Ult coming out, but he's actually going to end up dying. And that's going to be a Galio without ult. He could have looked to not ult there, honestly. And he's going to lose a massive utility spell to get to that fight. And he's going to end up walking back to mid lane slowly. It's just not something that you want, especially when you're already a level down. Waves crashing, Nico's going to be taking the reset, and that's just not really what's going really well. Nunu's just trying to pick up camps when he can. Top turret is doing really poorly for blue team. I mean, overall, Nocturne should be looking to get this Herald and Scuttle Crab soon to secure it for his team. Looks like the Galio is going to be making the way there himself, trying to get some vision down and secure that objective. Ends up missing his E, it looks like, and it does not understand how the CC works of Galio onto the Scuttle Crab. He's going to be starting it up for his jungler, and we can see current first item coming out of Essence Reaver for Draven, as he's going to let this wave just push into him. And with the stack, he does a surprisingly large amount of damage, in addition to the fact that he's got Sheen now on every single Q cast. He can use Q to gain another stack, in addition to just getting more abilities. Dragon will be spawning in the next minute, and this is going to be the Cloud Dragon. So it's either going to be a Mountain or Infernal Soul. Either or are very strong for both teams. Ideally, though, with bot lane pressure, there's no way blue team's going to be able to get any of these objectives bot side. As we can see, setup just has to force Finn off every single mana they're going for. As we can see, the mid laners are going in for a contest. X-Ray is knocked up, ends up taking a really bad trade for himself, and gets caught by the CC, and the trade is going to equalize back towards X-Ray's favor. Nunu is in the middle of that, goes forward, ends up canceling the W, goes in, ults, gets feared, gets rooted, and that's going to be a kill going towards Chris, as the Draven's going to pick up another kill for himself. And we can see Swain's unfortunately going to pick that second one up, making him 5-1 instead of 6-1, but it's not a big deal. Draven's just had such a large CS lead, about 6,000 to Vayne's 3,300, and then 2,700 gold lead on an 80 carry is about an item at this point. Going to be taking out that Herald, looking to put it probably top side or mid, as both those turrets are relatively low. It's more about probably first turret gold rather than getting those plates. Galio has about 30 seconds left on his ultimate cooldown, and even less on his teleport, so he's going to be able to participate in this next fight. Dragon currently is up, bot lane does have Prowl. They definitely could look for this. So it will be interesting to see, do they try to force the Dragon fight? Even though Nocturne is top, do they just take it themselves? No, it looks like they're going to be taking a recall right here, especially with that 1,400 gold. We're going to probably back into the next. He's probably going to start his Mythic of probably, I want to say for good sake. Yeah, it looks like he's going to get the Mythic component for Marksman, but Herald topside. Draven is definitely looking to pick up either Healing or Kraken Slayer. I mean, it's just kind of the only two options. I mean, Gale Force works for him, but it just doesn't really seem that useful, especially since you want to catch your axes, and queuing forward, Gale Forcing would kind of mess that up for you. But I don't know the current tech. It looks like Milky Jugs can just take trades under the opponent's tower due to his 2-level lead, and 2-level lead also on the jungle side. Nunu's going to be looking to leave base at the moment, and currently just still there, as Nocturne's going to be taking both of his topside camps, leaving only the buff up to respawn, as Nunu's on his way up topside. Currently, there is an item differential in the top lane, as we can see Darius is there. He's making his way around. Galio does have ult here, so he can come and assist his teammates. Will he ult in, though? As we can see, the ult coming down. He's going to get the CC. Flash coming out from Nunu. Goes in, gets the knock-up. Flash coming out from Darius. Nico is not on her way there. Space is a little too low. He goes forward, and that's going to be a flash coming out from the Galio. That's going to be 2 ults and a Galio. That's going to be 2 ults, a Galio, and a Galio and Nunu flash. That's just not what you want. I mean, they're also going to be losing Dragon because of pressure, and they don't even have to worry about Smite. Oh, no, this game is getting out of control already. This is not what you want to see. So we're going to see X-Ray actually take the top lane turret, and that's going to be really helpful for himself. More camps getting lost for the Nunu here. Currently has a 3-level deficit, only having his Krugs left. He's going to meet the Nunu there. The real question is, how's it going to go down, as both of them look to fight each other, as Nunu spots him out. He is going to end up running away. Vayne does not look to approach, and Galio is just hurting for mana and gold. He has a wave crashing, but instead is going to clear this ward out, as Draven is looking really strong right now. Probably could back into his next item, as Nunu is forced to pick up his only camp on his bot side of the map, as Nocturne has all his camps up and he's just going to reset, even allowing his Garen to pick up camps, as Nico's going to look for an engage here. Nunu is on his way in. Will he not? Oh, there is a control ward. He won't be able to see it. They're going to take this bait. Flash coming out from Chris. They're going to be able to pick up that kill, as that is going to be an incredible job coming out there from X-Ray. Using the ultimate. Probably flashed a little too early, but still was able to get the kill due to the delayed reactions of Finn and the E coming out from Swain. And they're going to be really just pushing this lane into the... They're just going to be taking everything. Your jungle, their jungle is mine. It is all red control. Red controls the map. They need to take back. They need to be taking fights where they can win. They need to be getting something, if anything. They are currently max level 10 on some of their characters, as the enemy bot lane was set up is level 10 as well, with Milky being level 12. Currently, Red is just taking so many resources that's going to eventually starve Nunu, or starve one of the players in this game out. So it's going to come, who's going to get starved on blue team? Not everyone can get this little farmist Nocturne, goes in for the ult. Currently uses his CC and his thing to be able to get both of them, ends up getting rooted though, and it pops the hourglass, but it's not enough, and that's going to be a kill for Swain somehow. Swain on the other side of the map is able to pick up the kill, as Milky's actually just fighting his opponent under his tower, takes so little damage. Their one turret shot was about nothing. Really good job from him coming out here, as we can see Setup is going to be looking to take this objective. And that's going to be the second turret of the game taken in the mid lane, pushing it into the inhibitor turret as Vayne and Nunu shadow as well. Currently no objectives on the map as they're really looking for a fight here. Nocturne is going in as they're going to get the CC up onto him. Vayne is not making her way there. Actually starts, they're going to be able to pick up a kill for the Nunu. Garen's walking around, does not realize the Vayne is in the vicinity. She pops her ult, she's going to get some auto attacks. The Yumi ult coming out as well, using the exhaust killer. The flash coming out from Vivos is not going to do anything for herself, so Vayne is going to re-engage onto him. Galio does not have any way to follow up, and it actually could have probably ulted the Nunu there, but chooses not to. And he's instead is going to clear out the wave, as Chris is going to be split pushing on the bot side of the map. Sorry, not Chris, I mean X-Ray. X-Ray is going to be split pushing on the bot side of the map here, trying to get as much pressure for his team. Currently, Herald is on the respawn in about 40 seconds, along with Dragon being up in the next minute and 30. So they're really looking for a way to close out this game, about a 13,000 gold lead. There's no way that they can lose unless they blunder really quick, hardly. And it looks like they're going to get a lot of CC, doing almost half of Galio's health, and he's a tank, as it looks like Nunu's going a little too far in, as Draven is doing so much damage, picking up another kill and adoration stacks for himself. And with that Herald coming top lane, they can definitely use it to break open an inhibitor turret at the least, due to how much stronger they are in fights, especially with their complete control of the map. Taking a second bot lane turret, as Finn and Yumi are looking to match this. Seth has currently a sizable amount of stacks compared to his enemy. Both, we can see the teleport coming out. Gonna look to go top lane here, actually. Currently got about 22 stacks. In total, he's about 10,000 gold. So he's sitting about most of his gold for his team. Nothing crazy here, as both players and both AD carries. Notably enough, the Nunu is on his way to match the Nocturne on the camp. Dragon's also up in about 30 seconds here, so that's going to be the Herald picked up for the Garen, actually. Instead, as the top lane is going to push out. Garen does have Herald and can just back. Or no, he looks like instead he's going to be pushing here. They're going to be taking some camps. Nunu is starved. He is starved on resources. He's down 4 levels. This is just not a good fight for him, as Extra is going to take up the second blue buff in a row of the enemy top laner. And this is just really important to realize, as the more camps lost from Nunu, Nunu's going to go in, gets the flash, and that's going to be a flash away. Nocturne is underneath, as the Galio going a little too early. He's just not in the fight. Note coming down, gets the taunt, trying to peel for his teammates, and fortunately, he's just CC'd down. We can see Nico on the background able to hit a root, as Garen, or Draven, is just full HP, just autoing everyone to death. It's just a little too late for him. And that's going to be a potential triple kill for the Draven here. And that's going to be the game. As we can see, the entire team is aced. 15 seconds for a respawn in Galio. And it looks like they want to take the mid inhibitor turret instead of just taking out this start here, as they're going to start taking it onto the Nexus. And that's going to be a very quick game with a 17,000 gold lead in the favor of Milky Jugs. I think the most important thing to realize in this game was the starvation of resources onto Nunu. I think that was just incredible play coming from Nocturne. He didn't have to worry about any of his lanes. They were all doing very well. Galio was making a lot of misplays with his ultimate, so he couldn't end up assisting his his jungler when he needed to. And Nocturne used this opportunity to take advantage and invade, taking lots of resources over the course of the game. And eventually Nunu was down 4 levels in that final fight, basically. And levels don't sound like they're that big of a deal, but they add stats to everything. And being 4 levels down as a tank, that's a lot of MR you're losing, a lot of armor you're losing, a lot of damage in general. So I think overall, Nocturne played this game really well. I would probably give the MVP to this game to Setup, though. Setup played a really well-performed Draven, getting kills in lane, getting adoration stacks. I would give the MVP to the losing team, though, to Finn Mana. I mean, like, he did a really good job keeping it in close to his farm as he could. I mean, he wasn't a lot. His team was losing all over the map. He was able to get picks when his opponents misstepped. It was a really good job punishing, but it just wasn't enough, as Darius was getting his ass whooped in top lane. Excuse my language, but it doesn't even matter. And other than that, I think this game was a very confident victory coming out from the Milky Jugs, and I look forward to seeing more games from both these teams in week 2. Thank you.